Hey everybody, and welcome to Shooting the Shit Uncensored. I am your host, the dad bod god himself, the ball, the beard, the fucking beautiful Piers Austin. And tonight I've got my good friend Smacks coming back on the show, and I'm really looking forward to catching up with Smacks. Man, he's had a big 12 months. I've had a big 12 months, so this is a good catch up for both of us, man. But you know, Smacks has a great backstory as well, and man he's kind of a man of many hats, if you will. So it's going to be good to sort of go into all those little intricacies. But before we go any further, let's take a quick second to thank some of those amazing sponsors and help us keep the lights on up in this bitch. And first off is healthvape.com. If you or someone you know is one of those filthy cigarette smokers, one of those filthy vapors, you need to send them over to healthvape.com. Healthvape.com, all of their products are no nicotine, no addictive or harmful chemicals. They've got the Restore, the Vital, the Energy, the Boost. They are also vitamin infused, so make sure you use promo code MWAPOD to get a 10% discount on your final purchase. Also, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go over and check out sleefs.com. That's SLEEFS, sleefs.com. If you or someone you know is an athlete, this is the place for you. They've got armbands, compression pants, compression shorts, compression socks, headbands, mouthguards, boots, and they've even got those dirty boxes that you know I'm always raving about. These dirty boxes are the most comfortable boxes that I own, ladies and gentlemen. They stay dry, they stay fresh all day long. They have funky designs at the front of them, so check them out. Use that promo code MWAPOD to get a 10% discount on your final purchase. Guys, also, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are finding us on the MWA Podcast Network, please hit that subscribe button, hit that share, like, comment, all that good stuff. If you're finding us on a podcast platform, please leave us a 5-star review. It is much appreciated. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get into the show. What's going on, brother? Good to see you again, man.
Hey, what's going on, man? It's fucking been a long time.
It has, man. It's been a while since we last get to caught up, man. Thank you for coming back on the show, dude. I'm really excited to have you on, man, because the last time we had you on, bro, like I think we went for like an hour and a half, and it was just like next thing you know, it was like a 90-minute conversation, man. That's when you know you're onto a good thing, man. So I'm excited to have you back on.
And that was an hour and a half that was streamed. It didn't count like the 2 hours after we got offline and still after we stopped streaming, we were still talking. And I'm like, I got work in the morning, bro. I think I'm gonna have to head out. Like, but yeah, no, I've been meaning to get on like sooner. I know me and you have been like chasing each other to get me back on here, but yeah, man, it's been a hectic fucking 12 months. Like, just
I know, hectic. Man. I know. Like, you got into like a bit of a podcasting for a while there as well with Kid Valley.
Because I can now tell people that Kobe was Kid Valley. I had to keep the kayfabe and be like, oh yeah, Kobe's just he used to ref at wrestling shows. I don't know who this Kid Valley dude is, and now that he's unmasked, I can be like, yeah, it was him all along, even though everyone already knew. But like, just to keep the magic alive, I was like, yeah, Kobe, Kid Valley, 2 different people, whatever.
It was such a cool podcast because it wasn't always necessarily like, you know, I mean, it was 2 wrestlers talking, but it wasn't necessarily like people like would expect like two wrestlers either shitting on the business, talking about the
Yeah.
business. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't necessarily always focused about professional wrestling, which I found really cool.
Bro, like we'd do streams where it was just us for like 4 hours watching ghost videos, like just because we could, like why not? Like yeah, and me and Cobes, like we wanna bring it back, but we don't want to bring it back in a live format. We want to do something different now that COVID's, well, not gone, but like now that restrictions and all that stuff have been eased for a while. I've got my own space now. Me and Kobe have been talking about a few ideas, or Kid, whatever people want to call him. I'm just going to call him Kobe. Me and Cobes have been talking about a couple of things that we want to do. But I mean, like, also he has to fit it in his schedule because, like, that kid is working his fucking ass off right now, like, and he is absolutely killing it. I tell him like daily how fucking proud I am of him. But like, fuck, man.
You see his match with Robbie Eagles the other day?
Yeah, I watched it back, and I was like, you've come such a long way from being like the little kid who I gave him his first bump at an NAW show. I'll never forget.
Awesome.
He'll hate me for saying it, but like I called. He was a ref, and some screwy finish happened or something, and I just thought, like, I'm like, you know what, he's been a good kid. Oh, he's fucking here. He's a good kid, and I had a lot of time with him, and like I helped Jason, like Crusher and I had helped train him and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, fuck it, I'm gonna give him his first bump in a ring. So so I went up to him and I go, hey, powerbomb. So I kick him in the gut, and he thought I said pole driver. So instead of like getting up, he sort of just like stiff boarded, and I had to like fully like wrench him up, and I powerbombed him. And I got backstage, and he's like, I'm like, why didn't you go up, man? Like, I've done that move to you in training so many times. And he's just like, I thought you called pole driver. I'm like, bro, why would I pole drive you for your first bump? Like,
that's intense, bro.
I'm not an idiot. Like, I don't pole drive anyone. But then it ended up coming full circle because he was the ref in the big match me and Jason had, and I'm like, I'm gonna pole drive you for real this time. And I think to be a smart ass before I hit it, I'm like, power bomb. But landed hit a pole driver.
Oh, see it, Mr. Guido in the house as well.
Guido's is here.
Man, we're starting to get a full house here, man, of people tuning in. But you know, man, as far as like, you know, six below as well, man. You know, I had your dad on the show a couple of weeks ago, man, and again, you know, and another dude who I can sit there and have, you know, a massive conversation with about many facets of things, just not just the rest of the business, but you know, he was telling us about Six Below, some of the things that you guys have had coming up. You know, he did mention that, you know, you're sort of taking a little bit more of a step back from Six Below. Is that something we can go into?
Well, at this point in time, I'm not sure what Six Below's future is. It's something that needs to be discussed in the, like, later on down the track. Things just didn't come together like they were supposed to. I had a good team of people that were trying to pull things together, but sometimes shit just doesn't work out, man. And it's probably at a point now where, for now, unfortunately, it's done, but it doesn't mean the essence of Six Below is done, because I'm always got something in the background. So, you know, like, there's always going to be something going on there. But also, like, I'm not going to go into the political side of stuff, but me and the old man didn't see eye to eye on quite a few things, which just made it hard to run. It is what it is. Like, if it doesn't come back, we did two really cool fucking things that I absolutely love, and I'll always look back on and be like, yeah, cool, I made that happen. Like, it's, I'm not that person that will be like, fuck, it was a failure. I'll look back at it and be like, hey, I did something that went from me being like, oh, what if I did this, to, hey, I fucking did it. So fuck yeah. Like, Tom is an absolute fucking genius. And he he was the one that really helped pull that cinematic show that we did, the first thing we ever released. That was like, Tom won't take all the credit for it, but getting everything right, that was all Tom. Like, I had an idea of what I wanted, and I'm like, Tom had the camera, and he's like, all right, we're gonna go for here, 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 and he pulled that thing together, and then I slapped the fucking VHS filter on it, chopped it, cut it up a little bit, and put it out. But Tom is an absolute fucking an absolute genius with that stuff, and you know, everything that he puts out, like the quality of promos that dude's putting out as well. He also filmed my wedding, so like I can't wait to see, because he's putting it all together and stuff. I can't wait to watch that back. I said wedding because I got married.
That's
Which
it.
not a
Look
lot
at
of
that, man.
not a lot of
Welcome to
people
the
know
club,
that,
brother.
but yeah, I got married in at start of Feb to the love of my life, Michelle, or Shelly Smacks, who people would know from wrestling because she wrestled a few matches, like the last Six Below show and stuff like that. So yeah, like fucking yeah. When I say I've had a hectic, crazy fucking like 12 months, man, I fucking mean I had a crazy 12 months. It's been fucking insane. From pretty much. I won't go into detail about it, but from pretty much at one point being homeless to now living with my now wife, and fucking we've got our own place here, but we're building a house too, which should be ready in the next like 3-4 months. So and
That's
then it's
awesome,
in
man.
there, and then fucking work on starting a family. I think that's
Yeah.
my next goal is see if I mean, I'm going to enjoy the making of part, but like, you know, try and get pump out a couple of little smaxes to run around and stuff.
Oh man, you know what? Kids are amazing, bro. You're like, I've got 3. We thought we were done at 2, and then the wife's like, we're having the conversation. We're like, yeah, you know, we got the one, yeah, we got one of each, and then a month later, you know, out she comes to the bathroom. Oh, I've been throwing up all day, and I feel so bloated, and I'm just like, damn. But you don't regret it, yeah.
I cannot wait like for Michelle to come out and say that, like, and I'm gonna be like, is it time? Like, is it happening? Like, like one day soon, whenever everything will happen for a reason, or will fall into place. But yeah, like, yeah, crazy. Who else have we got hopped in here? Oh, Jay's here, sick.
Yeah, Jay
And
Stevens.
we got Kid, Gweeds. Yeah,
Lazar, Brisbane. Yeah, dude.
man.
Like, you know what, the whole thing of like going through like watching childbirth and stuff like that. Like, I say to my wife, like, it was an intense experience witnessing that, and she looks at me. She goes, "Oh, it was fucking intense for you, was it?" I'm like, like, because you know what, like you like as a person watching it who is not a medical professional, and like as like, you know what I mean, you're watching that and you just feel helpless because you're like seeing someone you care about extremely, but you can't do anything. You can't take the pain.
You just gotta sit there and like
watch.
Yeah, that's the part I'm not looking forward to.
Oh man, but you know, at the end result, bro, is completely worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. But like, I don't know. I'll be happy. I'm 28 now, so I'd be happy if I can at least try and get before 30. I think. So I've got this scientific like experiment that I did myself when I was younger. So I had a bunch of people around me that had kids, and then had kids after the age of 30, and I worked out that like 9 out of 10 had girls after the age of 30 when the male was after the age of 30, whereas most of them like had boys before they turned 30. So it was like boy, and then after 30 a girl. And it even happened like with my old man and my mum had me and my brother, and then they both had kids after 30 with their respected partners, and both of them were girls. So together they knocked out the park, 2 boys. Then after my dad was after the age of 30, and my stepdad was after the age of 30, girl and a girl. And I was like, that's what kicked it off. And I was like, So I like started looking at people around me that were having kids, and I was like, okay, there might be something to this. So what I'm trying to say in short is I want a boy. I want a little.
There's no way to guarantee that, bro.
No, 100%. Look, I know that, but if I can make it happen before 30, then I'll be like, maybe like it might be in my favor. But after 30, it's just like girl city, like little girls. They're just.
But you know what's funny, bro? I got 2 boys and 1 girl, and you know what? To be honest, man, like they're both unique. Like both the boys and girl are unique in their own way. Like in a lot of ways, like the boys are easy, and in a lot of the ways, the girl, like she's a lot easier. But like my daughter is probably the toughest out of all 3. Like, you ask her, like, what do you want to do when you get older? Are you going to be a ballerina? No, cage fighter. And I'm just like, how bad can I get you, right? Like,
that's sick.
I'm just like, that's my baby girl. So. Nah, but as far as like, wrestling goes, man, like, what have you been up to lately is on the wrestling front the last 12 months?
Fuck all, bro. I'll be honest. I think the last match I worked was the last 6 Below show. Like, I don't know. I was kind of like at a crossroads trying to figure out exactly why I wanted to stay in wrestling. And like through COVID lockdowns and bullshit, it was like come and it'll go and it'll come and it'll go. And I mean, the amount of 6 Below shows we cancelled fucking last year alone.
Yeah.
And I was kind of just defeated, man. I was like, oh, whatever. It is what it is, sort of thing. And then things started getting a little bit normal. I started watching wrestling again. I started sort of falling in love with wrestling again. I won't go into too much detail just because like there's a bit of like private stuff to it. But there's a few people that I realized were pivotal parts in my love for wrestling that weren't in my life anymore. And I'm trying my best to sort of repair them relationships. Not for my love of wrestling, but just because like a bit of me is missing sort of thing. And I realized that it wasn't quite as fun with them not there. And I'm not looking to have a wrestling relationship with these people, but it might help bring a little bit more love back to it, and I won't be like stepping on eggshells and stuff like that. But
it's good to be cool with people, man. You know what I mean? Like it's I mean, you don't have to be like besties and shit like that, but if you see each other out in the street, to just go up and sort of be like, hey, what's up? You know what I mean? Like,
it was getting to the point where like I wouldn't want to go to shows because I didn't want to bump into them because I was just like embarrassed by my own behavior and the way that I acted and shit. And I was like, it's what fun is that? Like I can't enjoy something that used to bring me so much joy in my life anymore because of fucking mistakes that I made, like dumb shit that I'd done. And there's quite a few people that I was a bit of a dumb cunt to. Sorry to swear. I don't mean
no,
you don't care,
we're
but
uncensored.
there was quite a few people that just me. I thought I was mature and an adult and stuff like that, and I was just a fucking immature kid that fed into bullshit. Like it wasn't until last year that I really started to like take a step back and look at the world for how it really was and be like, you know what, I can be a bit of a menace. Like I need to do better. I need to be a better person. So, like it's going to take time, and a lot of people out there probably aren't going to forgive me for the shit I did. And you know what? That's something I'll cop, but I can at least get closure, knowing that I at least tried to try to apologize for my own mistakes and try and make it right. And I'm well and truly prepared for some people to turn around and be like, I like fuck you, like you really fucked me over on this, or
but it takes a big person though, dude, like to take that on board and to go, you know what, I fucked up, it's on me. You know what I mean? And to own your shit is massive. And I think that especially you know, in a day and age where it's very easy to hide, it's like, oh, you've got heat with this person. Okay, I'm just going to go off social media for a while, wait for shit to die down. But, you know, by you addressing the issue and going and you know, to the people that you've done the wrong thing to or had disagreements with and correcting it, you know, or trying to, bro, it shows maturity and it shows a level of, you know, respect that you have for yourself. But by trying to, you know, clear these things up, by not being a spiteful person, by not holding on to this anger, because at the end of the day, bro, like all this shit doesn't matter, bro. You know what I mean? Like it really doesn't. It's like to have a clear conscience and to, you know, bro, I've probably upset a lot of people and I'm sorry if I have. And, you know, and I'm sure you have as well, but it's all about growth. And, you know, if you can be genuinely sorry for what you have done, I think then I don't know what more people can really expect or want.
No, 100%, man. I appreciate you saying that. And like you just said too, like, I'm sure there's people out there that I've pissed off or annoyed or just said shit about or to, and I don't even know that I've done anything wrong. So, like, anyone out there, I'm in a way different headspace now. Like, if you want to bring that shit up to me and talk to me about that shit, like, chances are I owe you an apology and you'll get it from me because it's the type of person I'm trying to be now. I don't, man, I just don't want to hold on to negative shit anymore. Like, I prioritized in my life, I prioritized people that I thought mattered, who ended up fucking me over anyway, and treated good people like shit because of them people. And now that I can step back with a lens of clarity, I realize, fuck, I was a bit of a prick. And yeah, I just, you know, I just want to try and make things right where I can so that we can all just comfortably get on with our lives without animosity, because it doesn't help the scene. It doesn't help us personally. It doesn't, no, there is no benefit from any of that shit. It's unnecessary
It creates
drama.
tension for other people as well
Fucking
that
if it
are
does.
around. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
and people don't
I
want to
get
feel that tension.
people caught in the middle of it, and then they're like, you don't intentionally want people to get caught in the middle or pick sides, but naturally people are going to sway to one side or another because it's where their loyalty lies, and it's like it shouldn't be like that. Like it just shouldn't. So yeah, and like, in long story short, man, I'm just trying to make amends for my fuck ups, and try and let a bunch of people that I did wrong know that I'm sorry for the shit that I did. And like, this isn't me publicly saying I'm on this big crusade. I've reached out to people privately, and you know,
Sure.
a lot of them, I haven't necessarily got forgiveness, but they're willing to look past it in order for me to take me on my word that I'm trying to be a better person. And that alone just means the world to me, really.
Yeah, I mean, those people will then see in the proof, in the actions following that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I think that you know, good people will shine through, man. You know what I mean? Like bad people shine through just as clearly eventually as well.
yeah,
So
one
you know, I
hundred
think
percent.
that's you have to look at it from a clear lens.
100%, man. And yeah, so doing that has sort of like re-sparked, I guess, my love for wrestling, in a sense of like, okay, I don't have to hide away anymore. Um, I can go back to shows. I can link up with people again. I don't have to be like, I'm not going to take this booking because I don't want to sit in the locker room and like have to avoid this person, or I don't want to work this person because I fucked them over, or they've got heat with me because I was a dick. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to worry about that shit anymore. I can bring it back to a state of normality. But like, it's not going to be, for me, it's not going to be like it was. I'm not going to be working every weekend, and I'm not going to be fucking off interstate, stuff like that. I've got a family now. I've got priorities, so I can't just pick up
Sure.
and leave that shit. And also, for a long time, wrestling took center stage over like my relationship with Michelle and stuff like that. And she got neglected quite a bit for me to prioritize wrestling and the wrestling bullshit as well. So having a good 2 year period where I could really focus on my relationship, there's no way I could go back to having wrestling be the number one thing in my life, because obviously, like, the number one thing in my life is Michelle and this little this little family that we're building, me, her, and our little cat Grogu. Like, that's all that matters to me at the moment. And anything else that comes, it comes, and if it goes, it goes. So, you know what I mean, man. It is what it is. I'm just in a good place. Like, I'm in a really good place, and I've got a few bookings lined up.
Where you booked?
Just take it. So the show hasn't been announced, so I'm actually going to announce it here now. And there's a bit of a story to go behind it. So when I was like 15, when I was wrestling, I was wrestling for Mike Manson and Alpha Pro Wrestling, which we talked about on the last podcast I was on. And one of the first shows I ever helped out at, he did at the old Pipeworks Market, which was at that point of time, it was in Campbellfield. And it was just such a cool setup because they'd set the ring up in the middle. They had like this stage, like games area in the market, and it was outside, and they'd set the ring up, and it was just it was so fucking cool. And my ultimate goal was like, I need to get on that show. Like, I was training my ass off and stuff like that. The show that I debuted ended up being Alpha's last show. And then Pipeworks closed about a year later. So I was like, fuck, like, there goes that. Like, I'm not going to get to work at Pipeworks. That sucks. But the owners of Pipeworks they're opening up a new one in Thomastown, which opens in April. The market opens in April. And they reached out to Manson to put on a wrestling show. So on Sunday, June 26th, at like 12 o'clock, I'm going to be wrestling at Pipeworks in the main event of a show that's being put on there. It's going to be me versus my longtime rival, Crusher. It's going to be like, Jason's probably one of the easiest dudes I could work. I've had fucking phenomenal matches with that dude without even planning shit. Like, just go out there and do it. So to do that match and to then do it at a place, even though it's not the same, but do it at the market, like, and have things come full circle, for me, I was just like, that's fucking cool. And initially when I contacted you, I had it in my mind that was going to be my last match. And I was going to be like, you know what, I'll go in, I'll do what I'm going to do, and then I'll wrestle Jason, someone I love, and I'll hang my boots up. And then when people found out I had taken that booking, other people were like, hey, you want to take a booking here? Do you want to come and work here? And Mike's sort of working on something that's going to be not so... Yeah, look, Tom, don't worry, I'm not going anywhere just yet. So it's gonna be fine. But yeah, so more people were just like, hey, we're working on some shows and stuff like that. Can you stick around? Like, don't retire. And I'm like, look, realistically, I think maybe I've got another year and a half left in me. But whatever happens between now and then will happen between now and then. I've got a long list of people I want to work, as well as, like, it still just blows my mind that there's people out there that are like, you can't retire until I get to work you. Like, you know, like Kid, fucking Rochelle, Tom, like, I look at myself like a nobody in wrestling, but these people are like, no, like, you don't get to leave until I get to wrestle you. And that just means the world to me, because it's like, all right, maybe in my time here, I did do something and people actually cared that I was a part of it. So, you know, like, we'll see what happens. As you can see, there's a list of people that I have to work my way through. I got to find places to do it. And, you know, the Melbourne wrestling scene's not what it was. So there's very limited places. And unfortunately, like I was touching on before, some people in wrestling hold grudges despite me trying to make amends. Doesn't mean that I'm going to get booked by people. Like I was booked one in particular. I was booked to work VPW, Victorian Professional Wrestling, and then I turned down a booking because I have a family member's 80th birthday, which I thought, in my honest opinion, was more important. Had a little bit of a disagreement with my old man, and now I'm blackballed from that company. So like, it is what it is. Like I just have to find where I can do it. If it means me putting on shows myself, whatever, like I'll do it. That's fine. Big deal. If it means other people want to book me and put on them shows, then cool, big deal. I'll do it. Like it's it.
I want to call a Smacks match before you retire. I'm just putting that out there.
I want you to call a Smacks match, but like in person, yeah. Like I want you
100%.
to fucking, like not because I know originally, like we pulled back the curtain a little bit. We were gonna have you do commentary on an already mixed show for Six Below. And then the footage from the first show got corrupted, so we lost a good amount of the first show. Fucking still does my head in, because fuck, that was such a good show. Like
I was devastated, man. I was so pumped.
Yeah, I'm very biased because I put it on. Like, but it was just such a fun fucking show. Even with the fucking hiccups and the shit that went wrong, it was still just so cool.
I think like there's everything that's going to go wrong. Like there's always things that are going to go wrong in the show. Like no show runs smoothly 100%.
Bro, I couldn't get the internet to connect from my phone to my laptop. Doors were open and I still didn't have all the entrance music. And I'm trying to fucking find a way to download all the entrance music. And then it didn't matter because it wasn't formatted right. So fucking my dad's theme song played about 6 times, and I'm just like, you're just gonna have to walk out to it, because like I got nothing, bro. Like I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to walk out to kickstart my heart. Like it is what it is. I'm sorry. Hector Jones, I apologize, man. Like I know that you out of all people did not deserve that at all. But like, yeah, man. But you know what? While I'm at it, there's a list of people and stuff like that. But I'm gonna call someone out. Yeah. Murdoch's music worked. Yeah, he didn't have to walk out to kickstart my heart. Yeah, fuck it. So at some point this year, someone who's been avoiding me, and it's never come to fruition and never happened. But Guido, I want you in a no-ring death match, because I'm gonna fuck you up. I don't care where it happens. I don't care when it happens. But I'm like, I love you, bro, but I'm gonna fuck you up. Like, make it happen. Someone book it, or I'll book it. I don't give a fuck, but I'm calling Guido out.
Man, that's a huge match, dude, and that's gonna be an insane fucking death match. Like, you two are the sickest motherfuckers going today, and that has to be booked somewhere, somehow. Like it sounds like a Six Below main event to me, bro. I don't know.
I mean, like, yeah, if there's any life left in Six Below, or potentially even something new, that might surface, yeah. And you know what? If he's got the balls, maybe he'll put the other title up. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe if I keep poking him enough, he might do it. Who knows?
I mean, we know Guido was here earlier, but I'm not sure if he's still in the chat. Guido, if you're here, man, just let us know in the comments what you reckon, your thoughts on that. But, dude, like, is that like you made mention, you've got 1 year left, wanting to be in the business, like, when are you expecting to be your final hurrah? Like, when are you expecting to be that final moment? And is it still with Crusher having that match being your final match?
Honestly, my ideal last match, I've got 2. I've got 2 ideal last matches. If I can somehow make them happen, it'd be fucking sick. The first one is, I would like to wrestle Callan Butcher Because me and him, we teamed for a little while, and it was probably some of the funnest shit I've ever done in wrestling. But when we split up as a tag team, we never properly got closure on the Banter brothers tag team. Not that anyone who's following him now really even follows the law of that, because he's got a completely different level to where he was then, and the dude's absolutely fucking killing it. But for me, on a personal note, me and him, they never gave me and him that one-on-one match. No one ever gave that. None of the people that were booking us as a tag team gave us the opportunity to do that one-on-one match. They went in alternate fucking dumb directions and shit like that, and it still bugs me. Like, I don't care if it's a death match. I don't care if it's a normal match. I want my closure with Callan. So if that would be my last match, that'd be fucking sick. Or me and Michelle versus Jason and his sister Nicole. That's a match that had been booked so many times, and we had the fucking rug pulled out from under us so many fucking times. So they're my two, man. Like, everyone else.
Here we go.
Oh, what Squid said.
Avoiding never in my life. Hey, you shouldn't poke the bear, dude. We all seen what happened in Explicit when Spade called me out. You're fucking around, and we'll find out. Shit, just starting to get heated up, bro. Like,
I don't know.
Fuck, man. Should I send Guido a link? Do you guys want to have this conversation now?
All I'm going to say is Guido won't be the first American I fucked up in a no-ring death match, and he probably won't be the last. So,
whoa, that's a big call, brother. That's a big call, but...
Oh, fuck. Hey, I'm going to have no choice. When I take the Ultraviolence title off him, I'm going to have to defend it against other Americans, I'd imagine. So...
Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine that as well. But, as far as like deathmatch wrestling, man, like, is that something that you still want to do in the next, year and leading up into your retirement, or is it only going to be like certain special matches?
Yeah, probably save more for certain special matches, in a sense of like, again, pulling the curtain back. I'm a youth worker. Like, my shoot job is I'm a youth worker. So like rocking up to work with gig scars and shit like that, like covered in blood and like,
it's not a good look.
I remember there, when I worked Callan and Cass in the triple threat in the no-ring match, I had a massive gash on my arm. I was fucking at work and I was in a meeting and it fucking opened on me. And just like start pissing out in a meeting. And this was like right before COVID, so it was an in-person meeting. And I'm just sitting there and I look down, there's blood on the table and it's just fucking pissing out. So it's like not something I can do all the time, because I have to prioritize my shoot job. Because
how were the people you were having a meeting with? Were they like just no selling it, or were they like
they didn't know what the fuck was going on? Because not a lot of people in my professional life know that I do this shit. So they were just like, oh, what the fuck happened to your arm? And I'm like, oh, I'm skateboarding. Like, I'm not going to tell them that I fucking got the shit kicked out of me with fucking barbed wire and fucking wire tubes and shit like the night before. I'm not going to tell them that shit. But, like, you know what I mean?
Because it's like, imagine like people like who have never seen like deathmatch wrestling, right? Like people that know about professional wrestling, like WWE and shit like that, and they see I guess you want to say the pop culture of wrestling, maybe like the WWE, the AEWs and stuff like that. And it's like, oh wait, there's like you wrestle on thumbtacks and hit each other with like tubes and shit like that. Like, what the you know what I mean? Like, I can just imagine explaining it to someone. Like,
I did that like with a couple of clients that I work with. I showed them, because like one of them was being a smartass and asked how I lost my hair. Like, I'm like, male pattern baldness for one, but secondly, what sped it up was I did the skewers too much, and each time I'd pull the skewers out, I'd pull hair follicles out of my head, and they looked at me like, what do you mean skewers? What are you talking about? So I had to pull out like a video and show them photos of them stuck in my head, and they're like, but how did you do that? And I'm like, well, the skewers go into my head. There's no tricks, no magic tricks. Like there's no nothing. And but wrestling's fake. I'm like, yeah, it's predetermined, but this shit's like as real as it fucking gets. Like they're just looking at me like gobsmacked. Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? And yeah, it's trying to explain it to people who don't get it is fucking weird, bro. Like it's weird because like, yeah, oh, you do that fake stuff. Yeah, the fake stuff. Yeah, look at this fucking skills hanging down my head. It's fake,
bro. It's funny though, like when I talk to people that like are friends and stuff like that aren't wrestling fans, and I say something like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch this deathmatch wrestling. What's deathmatch wrestling? Bruh, let me pull out my phone and show you what deathmatch wrestling's all about. And most of the time they look at me like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people are like, holy shit, that is fucking sick. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people are like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, 100%, man. And it's just like fucking, it's just a different world, bro. But it's honestly like it's not something I could do all the time. I have a big love for it, and I have a massive respect for the people that are making careers out of it now. Like Joel, like Callan, like even Will Walker to an extent, the shit that he's doing, like doing it consistently. I think like Joel, I think I read on Twitter or something, Joel in a week worked something like 26 death matches or something.
27 matches in 27
something ridiculous like that. And it's like, and then you got like people like Weeds who fucking have been doing it for that long, and it's like I take my hat off to you, bro, because like it's fucking hard. Like it's hard and it's taxing, and I couldn't do it at the level that they're doing it. I couldn't. I could do like, don't get me wrong, like when I do it, I'll give my 100%, but I couldn't do it back to back to back to back to back. I mean, unless you know, I'm gonna have to.
Well, deathmatch wrestling is still professional wrestling. It's still an illusion to a certain extent. Like the punishment is not as gruesome as what it appears necessarily. However, it's still a lot of punishment to carve your body. Like your skin is not meant to be cut up and to be that. You know what I mean? Like as the human body isn't meant to go through that punishment. So, like, I think that the guys that have do it for a long time, and the guys that do it on a consistent basis, I would assume there's a lot of things that they do it particularly safer than what, you know what I mean? Like they're doing certain things and they probably don't. Like I said, I'm just speculating. I can't really say. You do it. You know, you've been involved in deathmatch wrestling, but like, how do guys that do it consistently do it consistently? Like, are they particular with their spots? How does it work?
Yeah, I'm not gonna pull the curtain back too much, but I am very smart with my gimmicks. I'll say that. Yeah. I'm very creative with what I like to make, and I'm very smart with the way I make them. I'm not gonna say any more than that, but that's all I'm gonna say. But then it doesn't matter because I very, very rarely take my own gimmicks. I end up taking all the fucking other shit. So like, you know what I mean? Like, so it yeah, but I don't know, like, Gweeds, what do you do to prepare, man? Like, and how do you just keep doing it consistently? Like, because it's I don't think I could do it at that level consistently. I think my body would give out on me. But that's just me. Like my body gave out on me doing normal wrestling. Like the past 2 years have been the best my body has felt.
Bro, people don't get how taxing that really is, man. And like we saw, like, you know, recently, I'm not sure if you saw it, but a young wrestler here from New South Wales, Tyler Gunn, is retired. Yeah, you know what I mean. And like, man, like he's a young dude, man. Like that's fucking crazy, man. But yeah, pro wrestling's predetermined, bro. But like what you guys do in the ring, man, is just, you know, is somewhat spectacular, man.
Yeah. And like I thought, okay, fair enough. Yeah. I can relate, bro. I can relate. But like, yeah, I've had countless amount of injuries. Like nothing overly serious, but like I've got a fucked knee. I've had a fucked knee for a long time, and it's prone to dislocating itself, and I have to pop it back. The amount of times that I've popped my knee out of place and popped it back in a match, people wouldn't even know. I can't breathe out of my nose properly, to the point where like I can do something that no one could do. So you know, like when like someone holds their nose and like their voice changes because they're not breathing through their nose. Well, I can do that without touching my nose. So my nose is that fucked. I could actually block my nose without blocking it with my fingers. So right now my nose is blocked.
Ridiculous. That's
and
insane.
Then like I can go back to just being normal. Because how fucked my nose is from countless amount of breaks and stuff like that I've had before wrestling, and then when I got into wrestling, I couldn't tell you how many times I've broken my nose wrestling. Like just like my pinky finger's fucked. Like it's so crooked and bent. Like just little shit, man.
And your finger just like goes like that.
Yeah, it's just fucking like my joint isn't so much like this anymore. It's like off to the side. Like it's look at that. That's not normal at all. So like little things, yeah, like, and then with deathmatch wrestling, to throw all that other shit on top, you're already destroying your body in a ring, but then throw all the other shit on top of that. It's fucking intense, bro. And I take my hat off to anyone who does it full time. I honestly, like, fucking amazes me.
And plus the hits to the head as well. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I suppose, like I said, you know, with anything, and I suppose in deathmatch wrestling, you can avoid certain things as well, you know, with care. But as far as, you know, the blows to the head and stuff like that, you know, do you find, like, as far as, like, you know, you wanting to step away from wrestling, is it because the passion isn't there? Is it because, like, you know what I mean, like, you just don't have the time or energy that you had? Because obviously I think the passion mustn't be there if you're going to be stepping away from it.
Look, I'm always gonna love wrestling, but I'm kind of at that stage where I've given it 7 consistent years, minus a year and a half for COVID. That I just say 7 consistent years where I wrestled almost every weekend, man. I had my piece of the pie, but there's a lot of young people that are coming up now that they're better than I ever could have ever been. There's less companies to work at now, and they're more driven and they're putting more into it now. And it's just sort of like, I'd rather see someone like Kid Valiant get my spot because they are putting more into it. I was that person who put everything into wrestling, but as a result of that, I almost lost everything that actually mattered to me because I was so fixed on wrestling. And I'll always have love for it, but I don't think I could fully dive 100% back in like that because I love what I've got too much now. And yeah, the political side of things, people blame the political side of things for not liking wrestling. There's politics everywhere you go, man. Like there's politics at my job. There's politics within my family. There's politics fucking everywhere, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like politics are politics, whatever. Like I said, I'm trying to do my best to make amends on all of that shit anyway. But yeah, and like on top of that, man, like when I get up in the morning, it takes me a good 10 minutes for my back to kick in where I'm not fucking hobbling around because I've just got a fucked back. I'm really lucky because when I was 19, I was doing MMA fighting and copped 2 really bad concussions consecutively. I think I touched on this last time.
Yeah, we spoke about it last time, yeah.
And like my brain has only, like in the last year, has only returned back to full health. Like, but I've got, you know, I get told like by professionals I shouldn't wrestle because all it takes is 1 concussion. Like I shouldn't play football, I shouldn't wrestle, I shouldn't skateboard, I shouldn't do none of that. Same risks that everyone else has. But when you've been on the other side of that and come back, you kind of need to take it as of like, okay, I dodged a big bullet. Maybe I shouldn't risk it and possibly end up back there again, because it's an amazement that I escaped my head injury without serious damage. Like the most serious thing I've got out of it is that I've got half vision in one eye because I tore astigmatism in my eye, so like my vision's blurred. But yeah, look, man, as I get older, like my body's just beat up, bro. Like I can still go, but I pay for it afterwards. It takes me a lot longer to recover. Like I did a training session. It took me
And at
2 weeks to
28,
feel.
at 28, bro, like fuck.
Man, yeah. Like if I hadn't have walked away when I was 15, I would have had a good career. Probably did what I did and then stepped away and been fine. But because I came back when I was 21, man, I was already. Everyone was much younger than me that was training and stuff, so I was already behind on fucking getting my shit together and getting back into it. You know, I'm 28 now, bro. Like, I'm not young. Like, people say, oh, 28's still young. But, like, in wrestling years, man, like, considering the shit that I put my body through, I'm not young. Like, I've got the body of a 40-year-old man, 50-year-old man. Like, I'm fucked, bro. So, like, I can still go and I can get through a match and you wouldn't be able to tell that anything was, like, that I was sore. But I pay for it afterwards. Like, I just...
Yeah.
And on top of that, man, like,
But do you think that that's because like that you haven't been performing consistently, like maybe not training consistently, like you go back in because it's like when you go and you work out,
Yeah.
right, and you lift weights, you haven't lifted weights in say forever, and you go in there, you go heavy, then the next week you're fucked, right? Is it that, or is it like old injuries that are like going, oh shit, I can't get in there and take this many bumps in a training session?
Honestly, what it comes down to is the fact that I treated my body like shit on all fronts. I didn't work out properly. I didn't train properly. I didn't eat properly. I've spent 90% of my life obese, and I wrestled through all that. Then when you already got them sort of health markers against you, and then on top of that, you're fucking wrestling and throwing your body at high speeds against a fucking metal frame, it's gonna catch up with you. So my
100%.
damage was, and fucking bro, at my heaviest, man, I was wrestling at 160 kilos. That's not good for anyone. Like, that's not good for anyone to be fucking moving around at that weight. So I've put damage on my body because of that shit. And I've got nagging injuries. I've got a bad back and a bad knee because I've been carrying my fucking weight around for like 20 odd years. That shit catches up with you, man. Like, I'm good now and I'm like fucking down with my weight and like I feel good and I'm moving better. I go and I do HIIT training every morning. I train like for 40 minutes every morning and I fucking burn like 800 calories in a 40-minute session, like on an empty stomach, like fasted. And I'm fucking like kicking goals and I lift weights consistently and I do all this shit, but like doesn't mean that the damage that I've got in my body's not there. And that shit flares up when I wrestle, bro. Like, it just takes me a little bit longer to feel good. And when I'm putting all this work into my body to be healthy and feel good, the last thing I want to do is put any more further damage on it over the long term. If this is how I'm feeling at 28, man, I know like I'm turning my life around and stuff, but that shit's only going to get worse than nagging injuries. By the time I'm 30, man, I don't see myself being able to fully keep up body wise. So I just want to, my ultimate goal right now, man, I just want to get one last good run. I don't want any belts. I don't want anything like that. I want to tick a bunch of good people I have a lot of time for off my list and then ride off into the sunset and be happy. That's all I want. There's a few promotions I never got the chance to work for. I want to work for them. People I never got to wrestle, I want to wrestle them. Take my hat off and leave. That's it. And that's why I've struggled with the am I retired, am I not? Because it's like, well, fuck, I don't want to just be like I'm done and not have a send-off. Not for anyone else but myself. I've got stuff I still want to do. And I think I owe it to myself. And the sacrifices that I made to the people I loved and what I put into wrestling, to just like drop it like that and not have anything to show for it, or an ending to the book, I think is a discredit to all the shit that I neglected while diving headfirst into wrestling. I think I need to come back, do what I need to do, tick off the people off my list, and give myself the ending that I want so that it was all worth it. And then spend the rest of my life fucking looking in from the outside and watching people I love absolutely grow into superstars.
Yeah.
And I'll be okay with that.
It definitely sounds like you're at peace with it. And, it definitely sounds like you're, I mean, like, the realistically wanting to go out on your terms and just to sort of end it your way. Do you think, like, the promotions that you want to work for, like, what's the plan for you? Are you going to like reach out and have these conversations and say, hey guys, like I'm doing my retirement sort of gimmick or thing, and can you book me just one time just so I can book it off the top, or how does it work in that front for you?
I guess they're conversations that are going to come up, man. Like,
yeah,
even if I don't get booked at promotions that I've done bad with, as long as I can be okay with them when I leave, that's more than enough for me. If I get booked by any of them, cool, like that's sick. If not, I don't blame them. Like, it's a business at the end of the day, and I did some shitty stuff, and they've got to put the company first. Quite a few different companies that I've burnt my bridges with need to put their companies first. It is what it is. Either way, I'll work it out. Like, I'll tick my list off one way or another.
100%,
and it'll all work out the way it has to.
Well, dude, you're very I mean, like, you're very driven in that aspect, I think, and I think that you'll definitely be able to get through some of those bucket list items. I think all of those bucket list items really. But as far as this list goes, man, how many topics are on this list that you want to accomplish?
Rather than try and like list it all, let's just say there's a good year and a half's worth of stuff I want to do, maybe knocking 1 to 2 off a month. So
that's a pretty big list, man. That's a decent list.
That's a list that I've compiled of people that I want to work, but it's also a list of people that have come to me, like we've seen here tonight, that are like, hey, like I want to be able to have a match with you because I never got the chance to, or I worked you in a fucking 6-man tag and we never got to fully work together, and like all that sort of stuff. And that shit means, like I said, that shit honestly means the world to me, that there are people that want to go out of their way to work me. And yeah, like, wherever I get booked is wherever I'll get booked. I got a few things, interstate stuff. Yeah, look, bro, I'm going to need a little bit more training to keep up with you because you're on a whole other level at the moment. Like, let me just tell you, kid, you're taking all the bumps. And I'm not lying down for nobody. I'm just fucking with you.
Once you finish, kid, I enjoy kicking out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and if I get the chance to wrestle overseas anywhere at one point of time, like, I know there's been some interest from some people for me to head over to New Zealand. I'd like to do that. So yeah, like, the list is pretty long. I'm going to try my best to get through it, but also get through it at a decent pace that works for me. Not just rush and get everything like, I fucking work every weekend. Let's just go at my pace and just be happy.
And have fun with it. And that's the main thing, having fun with what you're doing, not making it be like, oh, fuck, I've got to go do this weekend.
Exactly right. So yeah, like, we just have to see how it all plays out, man. But at this point in time, it's looking like my next match will be June at the moment, but I'm in talks about a few before then. And you know, if Guido wants to step up to my challenge, like just name a time and place, and we'll fucking throw down, bro. Like, you know, if you want to do it, yeah, you want to do it next weekend, you want to do it in a month's time, fuck yeah, I don't care, man. Like,
just let me know, man. I want to come and check that match out.
But I want it, fuck off, man. I want it to be that grimy, fucking gritty, no ring bullshit. You know what I mean? Like I don't want no fucking fancy shit. Like I want to honestly scrap. Like I want
downright dirty
blood. Go fucking. Like I got a lot of respect for Gleeds, but like he hasn't faced me before. He hasn't faced me how I am at the moment as well. I'm a completely different person to the last time I wrestled. My fitness is way better. And I've got less tolerance for bullshit. So like fucking like I'm ready to go. And yeah, if he wants to put the title up, that'd be sick. It ain't gonna be a wrestling match. I figured as much.
That's it.
Don't worry.
It is that time of the show. It is that time of the show, ladies and gentlemen, where it is 60 seconds with Piers. How this works is I'm got a bunch of questions. I am going to ask my guest here, Smacks. He's going to have 60 seconds to answer as many questions as he can. Smacks, bro, are you ready to get...
I'm not good with pressure, but fuck, all right, let's go.
All right. Okay. So we'll start the clock going now. Which wrestler would you love to go out and get on the piss with?
Austin.
Okay. If you could ask Vince McMahon one question, what would it be?
Can I wrestle Austin?
Home barbecues or nightclub?
Home barbecue.
If you were to release an album, what genre of music would it be, and what would the name of the album be?
Rap, and it would probably be the Anger Management Tapes.
Fair enough. If you could only eat one type of meal for a week, what would you choose?
Anything other than chicken and rice, which is what I'm fucking eating all the time now.
Would you rather fight? Would you rather fight 2 horse-sized ducks or 100 duck-sized horses?
2 horse-sized ducks.
Okay. If you couldn't wrestle, what other career would you do?
Actor.
If you were given $1 million to start a business, what would it be?
It would be a full-blown clothing company.
All right. And in 5 minutes' time, you are being shipped to outer space. What 2 personal belongings do you take with you, excluding human beings?
I would probably take a bag of Doritos and my vape.
There you go. Smacks keeping it live and simple. But that has been 60 seconds with Piers. Thank you very much for playing along, Smacks. Smacks, it's been great having you back on the show, bro. Like, this has literally been an hour of us just going, man. And honestly, the time has just fucking flown by again, bro. But, you know how I roll, bro. You've always got an open invitation to come back on anytime you want, bro. Good conversation is always welcome here on Shooting the Shit Uncensored, and it's always good to have someone on it and be as honest and as raw as you've been with us tonight, man. But where can everyone find you on social media? Where can everyone support Smacks? Get some merch, maybe put some money in that pocket, give you a follow, give you a like.
So I kind of like I'm not on social media as much anymore, but what I am on Instagram under Shreddo Smack, so that's mainly where I post like my fitness stuff and my personal shit. I am back on Twitter now. I wasn't, but I'm back on Twitter. And you can easily find me by just going, I'm pretty sure you tagged me in the last post. Yeah. So I think it's just smacks_PW or something like that is my Twitter name. But if you want to support me, honestly, the best thing to do, and this is for a lot of wrestlers out there, they don't know that I do this, but myself and my wife run a printing company called Smacked Up Printing and Design. So I'm a graphic designer. We do printing of shirts and all that sort of stuff. So you can find us on Instagram at Smacked Up P&D, or on Facebook at Smacked Up Print and Design. like if you need merch done, just come and hit us up. Like it helps us dramatically. We're just trying to get our company off the ground. And not to float my own boat, but we make some pretty cool shit. We just did you would have seen it circulating around. We did a fundraiser and sold shirts for Tyson Backstuff for his just to help raise some money because he was out because he blew his knee out. So we did some shirts, and we had a few people come through and grab some shirts, and we took no profit from that. That was purely just cost price of the shirts. The rest went to Tyson just because he's a good dude and I
gotta get one of those shirts. So you send me the
details.
Bro.
Yeah. I can hook you up. No dramas at all. I'll hook you up with that. But yeah, like that. If you want to support me, like I don't have merch, but come to me to get your merch done. Or if you need a shirt designed or shit like that, that's my bread and butter. I love doing that shit. So yeah, Smacked Up Print and Design. Just hit me up. You'll either get me or Michelle. We're the ones who run the admin on that shit.
There you go, guys. Check him out. Go get your merch made up. Go get your designs. Go get your backgrounds. All that good stuff sort of made. That's one thing. Smacks, man. Amazing graphic designer. I've seen some of his work. Is absolutely incredible. So definitely go check it out. You will not be disappointed. But huge shout out to our sponsors, healthvape.com and sleeps.com. Go and check out both those brands. Use promo code MWAPOD to get a 10% discount on your final purchase. Make sure you as well, if you find us on YouTube, you find us on Twitch or any podcast platform, the MWA Podcast Network, we're bringing you shows every single day of the week. We've got shows that cover for all pro wrestling needs for your multimedia. We've got Killing the Business with ECW Original, the Kingpin, Angel Motherfucking Medina, and King Mega. Make sure you check that out every Saturday at 11 a.m. They've just had time change, 11 a.m. Australian time, which is Friday, 8 p.m. USA Eastern time. So check out Killing the Business. Also check out Knights of the Gimmick Table, hosted by the Dead Presidents, Boogaloo and Lowrider, and also Cade Lothbrock, the recent new joining of that podcast, that show. Cade, who was a deathmatch wrestler over in the States, and they've had some amazing conversations and some amazing episodes with some great people. So make sure you check out those shows. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like, share, comment, all that good shit. Until next time, this is the Dad Bod God, the Bald, the Beard, the beautiful Piers Austin signing out. This is Piers, this is Smacks. We'll catch you later. Take care. All the best. Peace.